Away from fuel shortages, a road safety campaign has been launched in Accra to help reduce pedestrian deaths among school children. The campaign comprises a series of classroom work and outdoor road safety activities aimed at educating children on assuming personal responsibility for their lives.
Director of Public Affairs at the PURC, Nana Yajanswa, made the announcement at a stakeholders forum to discuss the PURC's automatic adjustment formula.
After deliberations on implementation of the third quarter automatic adjustment formula, has arrived at an adjustment figure of 31.56% for electricity and 14.30% for water. However, the Commission has decided not to pass on the current increase, but to implement the second quarter tariff of 12.09% for electricity and 6.1% for water, which was deferred.
She explained, though electricity tariffs should have gone up by about 32% and water by 14%, as per the automatic tariff adjustment formula, the Commission decided to rather implement the second quarter tariff adjustment, which was suspended.
It should be noted that the increase for the third quarter is driven by the key variables that underpin the automatic adjustment formula, and these are the Ghana cedi USD exchange rate, inflation, price of crude oil and natural gas, fuel mix of light crude oil, natural gas and distillate fuel, generation mix, hydro and thermal, power purchase cost, demand forecast, currently at 12% and rising.
Currently estimated, the PURC power generation that the increment has become necessary from 2,300 megawatts utility companies mobilize more revenue. A sharp fund operations of the 2,500 megawatts of power needed.
Well, so in that story is the PRC's head of public relations formally announcing that effective July 1, there will be an increment in electricity tariffs, which will go up by 12.09% and water by 6.1%. Well, the new tariff increment announced by the PRC is said to be driven by key variables and indicators, including the depreciation of Ghana cedi against the major international currencies, inflation, and the general costs of doing business by power producers in Ghana. Well, let's turn again attention to that very story, which intro we read early on about a new road safety campaign launched for school children here in Ghana's capital, Accra.
Pedestrian deaths account for about 43% of the road traffic-related deaths, making pedestrians the most vulnerable road users in Ghana. Children of school-going age below 16 represent about 23%. The situation is being attributed to poor road infrastructure design, disregard for road safety rules, and failure of city authorities to enforce bylaws, leading to the abuse of walkways by hawkers and traders. This, stakeholders say, poses a major threat to pedestrians, especially school children. The campaign, dubbed My Road Safety, My Life, is in partnership with the Ghana Road Safety Commission and Vivo Energy Ghana.
Road traffic accidents continue to pose severe challenges to the socio-economic development of this nation. The safety of children during the use of the road as pedestrians, passengers in car or bus, or as cyclists continues to be of concern to Vivo Energy Ghana. Children between the ages of 4 and 9 are more involved in fatal road accidents, and pedestrians mostly get knocked down when they are in the process of crossing the road.
Executive Director of the National Road Safety Commission, May Obriyeboa, emphasized the need for more support on road safety campaigns. She lamented the lack of funds is a major hindrance.
Road safety is difficult to sell. People do not appreciate it that it's a product and we are selling it. And we do not take it as something that affects our lives. Because of the limited resources, we cannot do the campaign as we wish as a commission. If you are doing anything, you should sustain it. You don't have to start and then get somewhere and then it dies down. And that has been our problem. We have the edge to do it, but a lot of times we are limited with funds. And therefore we start and then we have to hold on maybe another year before before we come on board. So personally, I do not think the commission, we are happy with our level of campaigns. We could have done better than we are doing now. Road safety is a collective response. It's not just the National Road Safety or the police, but it's all of us. Then people will then appreciate that if we all put resources together and promote road safety, it will help us.
Minister of Transport Jifa Ativo also called on corporate bodies to support road safety campaigns, explaining it is a shared responsibility.
It appears corporate Ghana is not willing to support road safety activities. Look at the World Cup that is ongoing now. Everybody wants to support the World Cup. Everybody wants to put resources in the World Cup. If you attack that passion to road safety activities, because we all drive on the roads anyway, if you can attach the same passion that we attach to the World Bank to finance road safety activities, I think we'll do better than where we are now. But at times they have the plans, they have the projects, but funding becomes a problem. I'm also informed that all Ghana funding for road projects have a line budget for road safety. I will be meeting with the road minister to find out if it's true, so that will demand that percentage that is incorporated for road safety usage, also including the markings on the roads, the footbridges and all that. So if we have dedicated budget for these projects, I don't think we should be suffering the way we are handicapped now.
Here at La Paz, the situation is no different, as each and every time pedestrians have to battle with hawkers and traders on pedestrian walkways, a situation which has increased the number of pedestrian deaths recorded in the country. Perhaps it's about time city authorities intensify efforts in ridding the streets of hawkers. Matilda Pomaga for Joy News, Accra.
The Ghanaian economy grew by 6.7% between January and March this year, and the growth, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, resulted from the agricultural sector, recording a high growth rate of 12.7%. The first quarter growth is, however, a decline over the same period last year, which saw a growth of 9%.
The nominal gross domestic product for the first quarter of 2014 stood at about 25.7 billion cedis compared to 25.8 billion cedis in the fourth quarter of 2013. The three major sectors which contributed to the nominal GDP estimate are the services sector, which contributed most at 51.2%, followed by industry with 33.9% and agriculture with 14.9%. Though the services sector showed no evidence of seasonality, the crops and cocoa subsector under agriculture reflected a positive growth of 0.8%. The mining and quarrying subsector under industry recorded a growth of 8.4%, even though gold declined by 21.7%.
Realize that over the past, before February or even before March, there were complaints or agitation about production in the gold sector. Some were closing down because machinery were old and there wasn't enough funds to recapitalize. But because the prices are increasing, we realize that most of them have to change their policies in terms of reviving the mines and putting additional machinery so that they can continue producing, even though they decide to lay some stuff off. So we see a recovery, and it depends whether that recovery in gold prices would continue so that the mines can be revived.
The manufacturing subsector also recorded negative growth of 0.1% due to a decline in production of food and beverages, rubber and plastic products, and the manufacture of non-metallic products.
Before we go, Cabinet has approved a proposed credit of $156 million from the World Bank, the International Development Association, to finance the construction of community day senior high schools across the country. An Accra-based radio station report of a secret memorandum from the Ministries of Finance and Education presented to Parliament to consider and approve the loan. The NDC, during the campaign for the 2012 elections, promised to construct 200 community day schools when in government, while the main opposition, the New Patriotic Party, they promised free senior high school education. However, President John Dramani Mahama, during his 2014 State of the Nation address in Parliament, revealed government's plans of implementing a progressively free senior high school policy in 2015. The announcement was met with mixed reactions and harsh criticisms from the social and political commentators, as well as some members of the MPP who were convinced the policy belonged to the main opposition. Well, so that's it for the latest news in detail we have on the AM show. Next